What is pussy popping, you beautiful humans? My name is Ariane Andrew,
I'm Matt Dillon, and welcome to another piping hot episode of Sippin' the Tea, where we want Ari.
where we sip the tea and our guests spill
You're
the
gonna make me. I love you, bitch. You are setting me up for failure, and I love it. So I saw you doing that. I was like, yeah. What's up, Miss Glitty?
Oh, well, what happened to Mama?
Mama exited the goddamn building, honey. She was like, I'm out. She was fidgeting like a dog. Where's Glitty? What's poppin'? I see her. I see
She's not
her.
having it today.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm super excited to introduce you to somebody that not only is kind of revolutionizing the wellness and fitness industry, but is the ultimate entrepreneur. Like, thinks it, does it, lives it, breathes it. Founder and creator of Lagree Fitness, Sebastien Lagree. Where here he is. Cheers, my brother. Boom! I
Cheers.
got
Cheers, guys. How are you?
I gotcha. Thank you
You're
for
doing well.
coming on, flipping the script, man. Here we go.
Yes, I'm very excited to be on your show. So thank you for the opportunity.
Of
I
course.
love it.
Well, okay, we're going to get a little bit into your background and your story and all that. But first, I want to backtrack a little bit because 2020 was such a crazy year for everybody.
Yes.
It was interesting. I don't care where you were in the world. We all were going through some things. But when looking back in 2020, what can you say are some positive takeaways that you got personally as well as with your career?
Well, I got very lucky because right before 2020, so 2020 was a horrible year for the fitness industry. All the forced studio closure. Actually, I think California lost, I think, 40% of their private studios or the small, training facility. 40%, most of the people in the fitness industry, when they open a studio, they don't have the money that Peloton has or Equinox or, Soul Cycle. They're just, people are living from paycheck to paycheck, basically offering or doing what they love to do, fitness. So for a lot of these gyms, they went under. And I was shocked. I was shocked that that basically the government would allow studios to be closed for over a year. That was I'd never seen something like that. I read in books, when we had the Spanish influenza, how it was, World War I, all that stuff. You hear about, curfews and this and that and restrictions, blah blah blah, martial law. And then when you actually have to go through it, you realize, man, this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
This was I didn't realize that it would go on for as long as it did. That was a real shocker for me. I'm very glad that my mind is always thinking ahead, though. So I had already, not knowing, but the year prior that I was working on this smaller machine, the micro, and the micro really saved my business in 2020 because it allowed us to literally discover a whole new stream for the business with the at-home training. Which really I really lucked out the timing, because literally when the studios were ordered to close down, that's when I launched the micro. So I did okay, but what I've learned from it is really that you must keep laying the tracks in front of you, and by that I mean this. Think that you're a train or locomotive, right? And then as when they built the railroads, right? So as you train advance, you put the railroads in front of it, and then you constantly laying the track, and you must be in a daily habit of laying those tracks in front of you, and you must create your own traction. And you have to do this, because if you don't, then when shit like happened like last year, you're fucked. And you can do everything because of that. So never rest on your laurels. Don't be complacent, and always look for ways to advance and ways to expand. And that's what really saved me. It's that mentality of constantly looking forward, looking for new opportunities, and so on. Because when I did it in 2019, I had no idea what was going to happen the next year, but fuck it, I'm glad it did. And I feel
Divine intervention, brother.
Yeah.
Divine intervention. Yeah. And I feel horrible for so many of my friends who are in the fitness industry and lost everything, unlike me. So I would say to people, just always being forward looking, keep looking for opportunities. Doesn't matter how well you're doing, constantly look for seeking new opportunities, new ways, you know. And that's kind of what I'm taking out from that time. And we're still going through it, you know. Fucking it, when is this going to be over, you know?
I was like,
Especially in
well,
California. I mean, it's crazy when I come back here, because I'm like, it's like map, it's all these things where I'm like, whoa, it's a whole nother world coming here in California.
It is.
I'm ready for y'all to come and visit me again in Florida or Texas. Let's get the fuck out of LA.
I am totally coming back to you, Matt. Absolutely. I'm going back.
I know you will. We're gonna get into that, but I want to talk about, because I've learned that methodology that you said, it's such a simple mind track, and it's something that definitely Ariana and I apply. That track in front of track in front of track, because you don't know what the fuck's happening.
But also being adaptive though too. Adapting.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, you have to be like a chameleon, right? You have to be able to adapt to any situation. But that also goes with a presence of mind. You have to remain open-minded. It was difficult last year, you know, because, you know, after each month, you know, obviously we were not going to reopen anytime soon. You know, it got progressively worse. First, we were supposed to only, you know, shut down for a month. Then they say, well, it's going to be another month. And then, well, 2 months. And then you didn't know. And it's hard to stay open-minded and to keep your faith, you know, when it looks like everything around you is kind of collapsing and falling apart. But you must absolutely keep a positive attitude. And like for me, I refused not to go to work. So during the whole pandemic, even though we were, you know, ordered to stay at home, I showed up to the warehouse, to my office every day, every weekend, and everyone at my office showed up as well. And we're like, you know what? It is business as, you know, as usual, guys. I don't care what the government is fucking saying. We're gonna keep on doing this. We're gonna go through this, and we ended up having a phenomenal year, you know, last year. But that's because I refused to just like, okay, well, we're just gonna let it pass. You know, I wanted to somehow remain active and in control, but also to stay positive about it. You know, it's hard to stay positive on your couch and when you hear all these like fucking stories, you know, all that negativity around everywhere, and you're like, fuck, you know. Yeah, so very important. Yes.
Well, so this is the thing, since you are in fitness, it's so interesting to me how they talked about staying inside and doing all the things that are not healthy. That way, when you're stuck at home, you're eating all the worst food, people are drinking more and getting on drugs, but they didn't never say what about fitness and how to be healthy. And I think that is the very interesting thing, especially someone who's in fitness, giving like little tips of like, go for a walk. This is how you do, like, this is how you keep your immune system. So I think that that's super interesting that was never, it was all the negativity of how to stay at home, but not how to make yourself healthy to fight off something.
Yeah, you know, you're right with this. There was a lot of report on how many COVID cases and people dying, all that stuff, but there was not really anything. There was no effort, you know, made trying to look at, okay, what can you do in this time? You know, trying to remind people. It was so focused on all the negative, and of course, you know, we were going through a presidential year, so that only compounded the negative, you know, effect. You know, me, I never watched the news. I never watched TV, especially for this. So sometimes I'll hear about something dramatic that happened last week, and I'm just like, I'm always the last to know, because I make a point to not watch, you know, any news organization, any news at all, because it's just so fucking negative. I'm like, fuck, I want to put a bullet in my head.
Unless he's appearing on the network and then he's going to share the clip. That's the only time he's. I agree, though. I agree. I think
I want to go. You know, when we do this TV segment, Matt, I like it because it's actually something positive. We're doing something good. When I go on a TV show and then we talk about fitness, that actually is something that should be talked about all the fucking time. You know, let's talk about positive stuff. You know, let's talk about getting control of your body, getting control of your life. You know, getting control of your thought process, your emotions. You know, all of that instead of this all this other bullshit. You know.
So since we're on fitness right now, we will backtrack because I want to hear your story. But since we're on this topic right now, speaking of, if this were to ever happen again, what would be your advice to people on how to build a healthy immune system? Like, some key things that you would give as someone who's a fitness expert on how to stay in the right frame of mind and how to stay healthy during a time of crisis.
Yeah, so first of all, I would say, you know, create a network of friends. It's very important. So when I first started to make the machines, now we're getting into a lot of, now we sell machines at home, you know, one-on-one, all that stuff. But when I first started my business, I wanted it to be about group classes because the community is so important. So during a period of a pandemic or something like COVID, right? Very important to maintain a social relationship, a social network with friends. And I would say, you know, just meet up with a friend, go for a walk, go for a run, you know, go walk, you know, you can work out at a park. Me, what I'm doing right now is I'm actively developing an awesome virtual platform so you could have all kinds of workout, not just Lagree, but because me, I'm in fitness and I love all kinds of fitness. I'm making all kinds of workout and equipment. So that platform is actually going to be, I think, go live in a couple of weeks. And you know, so because I know now that it might not be a pandemic, it might not be a virus, but now that the government got away with shutting us down for a whole year, trust me, it's going to happen again, and it's going to happen again, and it's going to happen. It's going to keep happening because the government's like, hey, those Americans, they don't give a shit. Okay, we're going to keep taking things away from them, and they don't care. You know, in France, people go out to the street and they revolt and they burn shit. But here in the United States, people are like, okay, all right, we'll wait. And now
the sheep.
Everyone's a sheep in the US. You know? That's actually, that is more a fear for me than the virus or the pandemic, is the fact that the government having so much control over our lives and really telling us what to do, what not to do. You know, and sometimes it's for our own benefit, but I really feel like last year, this was totally fucking unnecessary what happened. And so I'm afraid that for the next pandemic or the next time, there will be another, there might not be another pandemic, but there will be another government shutdown for sure.
There'll be something, for sure.
And that's why now I'm putting together basically an action plans if that happens. So I actually have other solutions. So what I tell people, think of a plan B, a plan C, a plan D, a plan E, you know?
That's what I'm learning working with Sebastien. This mother's got onion layers upon onion layers, but it's that entrepreneurialism that I guess was kind of born when you first came to the States, and like you came for option A, what you wanted to do, get in the biz, show business, all of that, and how you're able to kind of take your viewers and listeners through, because I feel like that's the genesis of where this creative explosion happened. One thing you wanted, something else presented itself, and like it fucking exploded, right?
Absolutely. You know, one of my favorite person in the entire world is Bruce Lee, you know, and not so much for the martial arts, you know, because of course, you know, he excelled at that, but his mind, his philosophy. And one of the things I love Bruce said, you know, was that you have to be like water. You have to be able to, you have to be moldable, shippable, adaptable like water. And that is something that I've taken to heart every goddamn day. You have to be adaptable. When I came to LA, you know, I was, you know, much bigger at the time, you know, younger, you know, I want to become the next, you know, Arnold, right? So I'm like, fantastic. I'm going to go there. I'm going to just smoke all the auditions. They're going to see me. I'm going to get a $20 million, you know, movie deal like this, you know, because that's the kind of guy that I am, right? And of course, I go there and nothing fucking happens, right? And then I get all these offer, you know, to do the workout. And what do I do? I'm like, fuck it. You know what? If the action hero thing doesn't happen, if people want to work out with me, I'm going to go with this. I'm not going to try to keep pushing for things that might not meant to be. Here, I have a whole bunch of people want to work out with me. It's money in my pocket today. Fucking A, I'm going to do this. And because I followed this and everything else happened, and it's been relatively easy for me, being successful in fitness has been pretty much effortless, because fitness to me is just common sense. It just, I mean, if you have to think about it, I'm like, damn, you're thinking way too hard, brother. You know, it's fitness is very easy. At least it is to me. So I chose that, and it was effortless. And now I'm doing really well with this. But yeah, you must be able to listen to the signs. You know, I believe that the universe is constantly speaking to you, and we choose to ignore the messages. And me, I pay attention to everything. I pay attention to the dreams. I pay attention to what strangers are telling me. Sometimes my people approaching me in the middle of the street, telling me things. I'm like, okay, I'm going to pay attention to this for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't know why, but to me, I there's so much more to life than what we see. And I try, and I'm always aware of that, you know, that I don't know. I know nothing. And that's That's the thing, you know, right?
That's the case.
And
Yeah,
that's right.
that's
So I am very observant, and I'm observant, and I'm very I pay attention to the details and the signs, because there are signs everywhere.
So true.
I
It's
think I think you're open too. So you're
I'm
all
very
those
open.
things, but
Oh yeah,
you're open to possibility, to dreams, and like it's not in a like egotistically run way. You just put the foot in front of the other and know how to fucking. There's a big difference between people success. The one thing I'm seeing from you, and it's literally proven track record, execution. It's like you execute and you adapt within that execution to be like, oh, that's kind of all right, boom, this is working.
right.
But
Case
what
in
I
point.
like what you said though, Sebastian, is that it's being open to sometimes if you're like doing something and hitting it over and over again and it's not working, but another opportunity is presenting itself. I think a lot of times too, we get so stubborn. A big thing with us as human beings, as our ego and pride of like, no, because a lot of it's sometimes it is, you know, obviously the journey is hard and you got to really enjoy the process. It's not the end destination, it's the journey of getting there. But it is about being open because it just seems like too the guests that we've been having, Matt, a lot of people like remember Masumi, who was like singing, how acting was just like boom, 3 months in, you know, it was one of those type of things. She decided to be open and try something different. So it's interesting the journey of where life takes us, which speaking of your journey with Lagree and the whole thing, like, so for people who don't know what that is, break it down to us, spill the tea.
So, you know, the workout has evolved a lot. I started to do this in 23 years ago. And Lagree is basically what Lagree is today. It's a core, it's a muscular strength and a muscular endurance workout. But the workout has changed tremendously in the past 23 years because I've also been able to make the own machinery. So I've created this machinery and method to kind of work together. And as I'm basically adding, you know, as I'm changing an element on the machine, it's going to modify the method. As the method is modified, it's going to need something else changed on the machine, and it's kind of this back and forth between the machine. But see, I don't dictate the changes. The students, the marketplace dictates that. So I teach every week, and I pay attention to what people like about the workout, what they don't like. And this is why the workout has kind of vetted itself into this core strength and endurance workout, because I've always wanted to have both women and men, and I've always wanted to have women and men of all ages. You know, I feel like sometimes you go to places to work out, and then you see just crowds of people. It's always the same kind of people. I don't like it. I like it when it's very diverse. I like it when I see everyone and anyone in class. I want to do a fitness program that works for everyone and anyone, not just for the people who are 20 years old and who wants to do this, or the 40 years old, or 50. I'm creating basically what I call a perfect workout, you know, workout that is good for you, is good for you. It's going to get you in great shape, good for your heart, good for your organs, good for your brain. And it's also good for you over the long term, because there's a lot of workout out there that are just also great in your 20s and 30s, but you can't really do it in the 50s and 60s, right? So and I forgot the question.
No, it's just about Lagree and just you. But you
Oh
were very
yes,
excited,
yes.
Which
Yeah,
yeah.
so for me, you know, I realize, you know, it's what's interesting is when you work out on your own, and then people like to work out with you, and all of a sudden it becomes a business, and now you expand the business, and now you have to train people in what, and in your training you have to explain people what you do. But it's very hard because it's taken me 23 years to really explain what I'm doing, because it's so natural. You know, it's just like if you had to explain someone how to speak English. Oh, you know, it's, or teach someone English, you know, it's just, you do it so naturally, so you have to really think. And so that process of helping others understand what I've always done on my own, that is literally taking me 25 and 30 years to write, you know, and to do all these this information. But the workout has been the workout has changed tremendously in 23 years, and I'm very happy because of that. And you know, and because of all this care and attention to the method, right before COVID. So right before COVID last year, in January 2020, we were doing so fucking amazing because we were just named #1 workout on ClassPass.
Oh,
And,
wow.
and it's, this was amazing. We had like a lot of press, everybody wants to open a Lagree studio. But the reason why I think people seek the mega formal workout, or the reason why we were named #1 workout, is because I am constantly working on the method. I think people, people see me teach, every Sunday, or very, often every week, and I'm doing it because to me, that's the business, that's the core of the business. I'm learning and I'm constantly pushing the limits and the envelope. So, I'm very happy of how the workout has evolved to in 23 years, and I can't even imagine what it's going to be like in the next 23 years.
It's somewhere in your head, somewhere there. I can feel it somewhere in your head, the evolution. You know what the greatest thing about this is that the consumer and the participant in this community is almost dictating the trend because they are creating it alongside you. You're watching them.
Absolutely.
So Sebastian isn't like, here's the trend, get on it.
Yeah.
He's watching multi-levels of things, and I think
you have to observe.
Truly the unique.
Yeah, if you only observe, and that's it. All you do, you don't even have to interact. You just sit and you watch what people do, and you're going to learn so much from that, and the conversation. And so what I do is I don't impose anything on anyone. I just realized that there's a lot of things that are still missing in the fitness industry. So I listen to people during the workout. I talk to people. I interact with my clientele, like I said, on a weekly basis, and I learn. And so I continue to develop more product, and I continue to push the method, evolve the method, because there is a need for it. Not because I deem there's a need for it. It's because the people who take the workout show me there's a need for it, and they show me also when it should be done. And it's amazing that I feel like I'm the only person in the fit industry to do that. Because a lot of people are copying my workout like right and left, and they're copying the machine, don't even fucking understand the workout, which is, I see some of this copycats sometimes. I'm just like, dude, you are not even understanding my method, because if you understood my method, you would never have this machine looking that way. But anyway, so we have the copycats on one end, the people who have absolutely no originality. Actually, one of my favorite quotes, is from Nikola Tesla, that says, "I don't care if people are copying my stuff. I care that they have no ideas of their own." And that is very, very powerful. I feel like we're in a world where there's less and less and less original thinker. People want to copy and paste everything. People want to go on Google. They want to look for the answer. People want to stop using the fucking brain to come up with their own answer, which is going to be best, because if you have your own life, your own situation, sure, it's require your own specific solution. Don't copy and paste, the solution of everyone else. But people don't want to think anymore. And I'm just like, why? It's fucking amazing.
But imitation is the sweetest form of flattery. And we all know that the original is worth way more than a copy. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. But so in the fitness industry, so you have all the copycats, and then on the other side, you have this executive who never fucking work out. They they preside over all this big chain. They're fat, they don't work out, and they make the decision for the future. So I'm like, wow, there's not many people like me left in the fitness industry who really care about just the workout and having just an amazing workout. I'm always seeking that stuff. So I don't know. Kind of went off topic.
I think you're doing the fact that
your passion showing.
It is. It truly is. And I think what you've created in a bigger sense, and it works for you and your model. And it's like knowing from when I'm talking about Lagree to people is this community effect. People feel like they're a part of something, and they feel not threatened by that something, because that fitness world is, like you said, like you go in and it's like, this is all you see. There's big people, little people, 9-year-olds. There's all these different vibe of things. And I think the community, the way you listen, has impacted that people roll with you. However, that's why you got 23 years, and now the next 23 are gonna be like, look at him. He's like,
that's correct. I'm
He's like,
moving the screen so I
let
can
me just
watch you
move
guys.
this.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of, because you are super passionate, you speak to people on so many different levels. The question is, there's people out there who want to get into fitness, who are or want to try, but either A, they're like, I'm too busy, I don't know where to start, or I'm already at this size. So it's like, how can someone begin who's struggling, who wants to get into fitness? What would be your advice?
So again, I love the buddy system. I love to find a friend who has the common goals, you know, someone else who maybe wants to get in fitness, lose some weight, or first of all, is this, you need to identify what your goals are. Because when we talk about getting into fitness, most of the people say, oh, I want to, you know, most people want to lose fat. They want to get healthy. But some of the people don't want that. They want maybe to get more muscular or this or that. So I think you need to identify, first of all, what you want to do, what you want to change. And then you should find a buddy who has the similar goal, because the buddy system is going to be very important for the first couple of months, because you need to form the habit. And that is the most difficult thing to do. The workout is not difficult. The most difficult part is to show up to the workout.
Yes.
That's what it is. And people always laugh about this stuff, but it's true. You know, once you're there, okay, you're going to work out. You know, for me, every day I'm like, oh, I'm going to go on the hike. And then there's always like something going on. And then, but when I do make the hike, then I'm really happy. It's you really have to make that first step. The workout is easy. It's making that first step. So having a buddy system will basically facilitate the new habit. And, you know, they say it takes about 21 days to form a new habit. I'm not sure how long it really takes, but it does take a little while. And that's why I like having the buddy system, and you check yourself, you know, you basically are accountable to each other. If you don't have a buddy system, then a class, you know, and that's the reason why I created the group class, because, well, first of all, it's less expensive than the one-on-one, but also it's more enjoyable. You know, you will find friends, you know, and like Matt was saying, is that when you go to a degree class, you know, you'll find your same friends that were there last time. And again, it makes the process of showing up to class just easier now, because you already know the people there, you know, the teacher, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, the familiarity, again, is very important. You know, remember that we like what's familiar to us. And when you've never worked out before, yeah, first of all, you don't know what kind of workout you should be doing. Then there's so many fitness options out there, and it's kind of overwhelming for people. So you want to choose something that is familiar to you. But I would say having a buddy, having a friend to work out with, you know, I think that is to me, that is really the way that you can create a you know, a permanent habit. Yeah.
I like that. That's actually very different than what I've heard, you know, before. So I think that is awesome, because you have that accountability partner, someone that,
Yeah,
you know, when you're like,
yeah.
I'm not going to show up today, they're like, oh no, yes you are, because
Mhm.
you don't want to let your
Drag my ass. Drag me out
Absolutely.
of bed, bitch, but I'll show up. I got you.
But it's
I got
true,
you.
absolutely, that accountability is very important. After a few months, you know, then you almost don't need that, but it's almost like having a training wheel, right? You need that third wheel to kind of get you in the momentum. And once you're in the momentum of working out, then it's easy, because people ask me, it's like, well, how do you get motivated? Dude, motivation comes by doing. You cannot motivate yourself sitting on a fucking couch. You know, you can get inspired to go work out, but the motivation only comes by doing. So again, you know, you're not going to get motivated until you start to do it. And so once you have the habit is formed, then the motivation is going to keep you on going. And then you'll find that it's going to become easier to go work out on your own, or to try new places, you know. And as you change your body, now you're more outgoing, and you're more likely to try new things. And then the positive cycle comes in. And then when you're in a positive cycle, when everything is on the up and up, you start to lose the weight, you change your body, you get some new clothes, now maybe making some new friends, then it feeds on itself. You know, it does that. And then you got to keep that momentum going, because the body adapts, you know, and the body will adapt to an incredibly healthy and good lifestyle, or the body will adapt to an incredibly bad and terrible lifestyle. The body doesn't really care, you know, right? And it's amazing how easy it is, you know, to go back to not working out. And this is why I tell people, that you got to keep that consistency, you know, and and then also to once you're in that positive cycle, a lot of people have a tendency of start to working out more and becoming more extreme, and I think that's a mistake because sometimes that kills the motivation. Sometimes when you start to do too much, then you can become unmotivated by doing too much, you know. So then you have to pace yourself, you know. That's important. But like when you're in that cycle where you feel like you're invincible, it's amazing, you know, to go through life and everything is great, you know, your workout is good, you know, you're just losing the weight.
Your day is good though. That's
Your day is
people
amazing.
don't
Yeah,
people
exactly.
underestimate. I'm like, working out is the greatest thing ever because you could be
I know. I work out with the chimpanzee every day. Whack the
I know.
motherfucker on my shoulders. Hey,
no, for real,
hey,
because like
come
people
on.
don't talk about like how you can be having such a stressful day, but even going for a walk, I mean, you're gonna feel, you may not feel 100%, but it's something about moving your body. It just,
Shake the pattern up, that memory pattern of like if you break the mold and get out the door. And that's why I was like, yeah.
I totally agree with you. And this is why right outside this gym, right outside this door, right over here, I have a 4,000 square feet gym, my private gym. And you should see the fucking machines I have here, you know, and that's what motivates me after, you know, I've been working out since I'm 11 years old. So, you know, I'm 48 now, so I've been doing for a while. What I love here for me is my private gym because I make my own machines. So I have a lot of one of a kind machines that work out on. This is why I want you to come in here and work out with me one day.
I'm gonna have to come. I have to come visit.
Yeah, you come.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, I'm gonna link you guys on off camera. But yeah, you guys definitely should because Sebastian's got some great little contraptions and shit.
Oh my God,
I'm
yeah.
like,
I love that. But you see, for me, like I'll come in the morning, I'll start to do some emails, and an hour into emails, then I got my my staff, you know, coming in here, and we all work out together. It's great, you know. We talk about what we have to do during the day, so we almost, you know, instead of being in the conference room and having coffee and donuts, you know, we're basically in the weight room and we're talking about what we need to do for this day, for the rest of the week, all that stuff. And also working out stimulate your mind, so we always come up with like different things, so we're all thinking outside the box, you know. I mean, everyone. I even had my corporate attorney, you know, working out with us, you know, and we talk about stuff, and it's amazing because we can strategize right there on the spot. We work out, we joke, we work. It's honestly, it's fucking unbelievable. And then when I'm done, I go back into my office and I sit over here, and then in the afternoon, I have 5 minutes away from here. I have an amazing hike called Rocky Peak. So then, I go and I'm, you know, in 5 minutes, I'm like up the hills and I'm doing my my hike for 2 or 3 hours. And I love my situation, but this didn't happen like this. I sought this warehouse because this warehouse was big enough for me. It was next to you know, the trail. And all my life I've done this. You know, when I was in college, when I was moving from one location to the next, I've always moved next to a Gold's Gym or 24 Hours Fitness. You know, I've always been very strategic where I move because I want to be this close, because I know for me, if I have to drive an hour to go to the gym, fuck this, I'm not going to work out. And, you know, as much as I love
that's smart. That's actually smart thinking. You'll plunk yourself where it's going to make it life easier.
Because what's going to happen in that 1 hour? I have 60 minutes to convince myself not to work out. Exactly. I have 30 minutes. Do I really want to go there? Look at the traffic. But that motherfucker's not moving. Oh, that's a sign. Fuck it, you know. And so I want to remove all the obstacles.
I feel that. Which speaking of, by the way, so for people who do want to check out Lagree, and that where are your locations? How can people get in touch? How can people find you?
So have people go to lagreefitness.com, and on there there's going to be a little tab that says Studio Locator. So if you click on that, then you'll see a little search box, and you put your zip code, and then all the location nearby will pop out. There's about 500 locations worldwide, so it sounds like a lot, but for worldwide, it's nothing. There could be easy 35,000 locations. So, so they might not be.
Don't worry, he's working on it.
But I'm working on it. Trust me. I'm actively working on developing, you know, a lot of areas.
Okay, well, look at you.
Like of all places, Ari, of all places, next to where we eat on the corner, Oliver's.
Oh yeah.
Boom, Lagree.
Yeah, that's a
Just
new skill.
opened yesterday. I'm like, I can't escape you now, motherfucker. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
about for personally? Like, where can people personally find you if they want to just get
People follow you.
Yeah, where can people follow you?
Oh, people can follow me two places. So my personal Instagram is Sebastien.Lagree. And then otherwise, the business Instagram is Lagree Fitness.
Boom.
And that'll drive everybody's time. Where can you find me? If you don't know where to find me now, you're not a fan, motherfucker. Matt Dillon, 1983.
Well, I'm gonna keep implementing it. You guys can
Oh,
follow
I
me.
know. Because you're trying to create a habit. Make people remember the social media.
Exactly. You can follow me across the board at Ariane Andrew. Then, of course, follow Sippin the Tea at Sippin the Tea TV Show on Instagram, Sippin the Tea TV1 on Twitter. And if you got any value out of this, all we ask is just share with a friend, of course, comment and subscribe. And for all of our auditory listeners, you can listen to us at all digital streaming platforms. But we will catch you guys same time, same place of another episode of Sippin the Tea TV Show. Cheers.
Mr. Lagree, my brother. That
Cheers.
was wisdom. Thank you, my man.
Thank you.
Got no room for debaters, them haters, 'cause I know that dreams come true for me and you. I treat you like a wrong number. Wrong number. Wrong number. Yeah, you got the wrong number. Click.